Hey there, my name is Jessie Mahoney, and I was asked to share my thoughts today on how to find the right coach, how to figure out what you want from coaching, and a little bit about my coaching philosophy. So, I actually don't think that there is a right coach for you. The right wrong dichotomy is something that we were taught in medicine as a way to move through the medical world, but it doesn't serve us well when we're doing things like choosing a coach. So, if you can actually step out of right or wrong and out of this scarcity mindset that we were taught and begin to think that there are many right fit coaches, the process will be a lot easier. I do think this when we think there's a right fit coach, we get stuck in scarcity mindset and it makes it harder to choose. So, what I do think is helpful when you're choosing a coach is to think about okay, well, is this coach someone who is a good fit for me? And the fit is about comfort. It's about their style and their approach. Do you trust them? And do you feel like you can talk to them? That is likely the most important factor. I don't think it's necessary to have a coach in the same specialty. In fact, I think it's often much better to have a coach from a different specialty. I also think it's really important to have a coach who's potentially not in your institution. Both of those create a sense of safety and a sense of neutrality in your relationship. And I generally find that people get a lot more out of coaching when those are the setup. I do think the coach's experience is particularly relevant. You want an experienced coach and you want a skilled coach. And that is something that's a bit hard to tell when you check out and interview coaches, and almost every coach gives you a free session to get to know them. But your intuition will very likely guide you. You can also look at them as humans because coaching is really about how our human brain works. So, in my case, I'm a pediatrician. I'm also a mom of three. I've been in a long-term marriage. I have um, been a leader in many different capacities, and I've worked in the wellness arena. And so for some people, that is going to be a right fit. It's really choosing someone who you think is wise and calm and is there to guide you. A coach is actually a mirror and a guide. It's not a mentor, it's not advice, and it's not therapy. So, in terms of thinking about what you want to get out of coaching, I think the secret here is to think about how you want to feel in life. In our medical training, we are taught to shoot for goals. What's the job I want to have? Um, do I want this leadership role? Do I want to work part time? I want more time with my family, for example. And these are all outcome based. And how I like to coach is actually from the feeling line. How do you want to feel in life? Because very often when we focus on the outcome, we get the next thing and we're not happy. So, what we really want to do is figure out, do I want to feel present? Do I want to feel peaceful? Do I want to feel connected? Do I want to feel engaged? Do I want to feel alive? We all know how we would like to feel in life. And so when a coach can help you connect with that feeling is your GPS, and you can make decisions along the way to help you get closer and closer to that feeling. It may be a journey from where you are, but I find that to be the most effective, accurate, and powerful way to end up in a situation where you have a life that feels aligned, purposeful, and maybe full of passion or feeling alive. A bit about my philosophy. I approach coaching from a place of love, which may sound a bit woo, but I think it's really important to understand that this love and care and nurturing is critical to working in medicine, and it's critical to change. We can't hate ourselves into change. And in fact, when we make decisions from a place of love for ourselves, and then perhaps for our patients or for our families, and then for our perhaps your clinic or your colleagues, and then perhaps for the medical system or the world at large, those decisions tend to be very much aligned. And so bringing this energy of love into the coaching situation is very, very helpful and extremely effective. Um, Imagine if we actually thought of hospitals and healthcare institutions as houses of love, which is what the Vietnamese word for love, hospital, is translated as. So I really like to think that you want to use emotions to help drive where you want to go. I also think it's critically important to not only talk about the mindset and the coaching tools and potentially the philosophy of mindfulness, which I also think is critically important to get you out of reacting and these automatic default thoughts that maybe we think more is better or harder is better, and actually getting into what we really want as opposed to what we think we should want. But the other missing component in coaching very frequently is not paying attention to our physiology and understanding how the physiology relates to some of these emotions and how that impacts your brain, and whether you go into automatic default reactive lizard brain, or whether you are actually using your highest, wisest self to make decisions. And so I really like to help people understand that finding balance in your nervous system, getting out of fight or flight, is essential. Learning how to replete yourself and manage your energy well rather than your time is super important in coaching, sticking, and ultimately getting a life of alignment that feels good to you. I focus a lot on the patterns that we were taught in our medical training that maybe served us well to get through training, but are not healthy and sustainable. And they don't necessarily lead us to an authentic, aligned career in medicine. When we understand what these thought patterns are, we get our agency back and we can choose how we want to move forward. So hopefully those quick thoughts on coaching and how to find a coach are helpful, and I'm more than happy to connect with any of you. The easiest way to find me is through my website, which is pauseandpresence.com, and or jessiemahoney.md.com. You can also email me at jessiemahoney.md.com. Looking forward to chatting with all of you. Thanks for listening.